So I don't wander. I typed out my comments in advance and timed them. When I arrived early at Town Hall for the last town board meeting and saw Mr. Leiter and his friend, Mr. Coyne, in the center of a large group of our town employees and Region 3 CSEA union officials, I was puzzled because I've never known right-wing Republican politicians to be pro-labor. I was wondering what kind of promises Andy was making, and after hearing later in the meeting about how Mr. Leiter was paying so much in property taxes for the home and surrounding lands he purchased in the town of Wallkill for his sham residence and his fire truck museum, I became suspicious about that comment. I think Mr. Taub made that comment, and started to look into this issue of property tax. The town of Wallkill is no better off with Andy owning this property. The property was being paid by the former owners as it is now by Mr. Leiter, and here is a document from the county that shows that the property tax revenue is relatively in keeping, a few thousand off, I guess, because of the change in the economy. Then a review of the February 4th Planning Board minutes of this year revealed that Mr. Leiter was planning to seek tax-exempt status for his museum. Upon further questioning at the meeting, he was rather evasive about whether or not he would take the property off the tax rolls because of its use for a nonprofit museum. This would be a significant loss of industrially zoned property from the tax rolls and a major shift of tax burden to everyone else. Clearly, Mr. Leiter's hobby is an expensive one, but why should the town of Wallkill residents subsidize his hobby? If he has the money to buy these expensive toys, I'm sure he has the money to pay the property taxes on all of the property he owns in the town of Wallkill. If he wants to be in the Guinness Book of Records for his collection, that's fine, but we shouldn't be required to help him pay for him to achieve that goal to satisfy his vanity. Then it occurred to me also that Mr. Leiter could make whatever promises he desired to members of the CSEA because in the future he would be protected from the impact of those promises because of his intent to seek tax relief for his expensive hobby. I might want to remind the officer here that in the case of public speaking, the union has no right to interfere with a person's First Amendment rights. He likes to play with expensive things and has chosen our town and our lives to play with. His plans and the plans of the other two insurgent Republican candidates are an indication of their utter contempt for the people of the town of Wallkill and the sanctity of the electoral process. When, as an example, David Green, the Republican Commissioner of Elections, threw out some of Mr. Leiter's petitions for significant flaws, Mr. Leiter and his attorney excoriated and condemned Mr. Green for doing the job the taxpayers of Orange County pay him to do. They went as far as stating that Mr. Green should be shot. That's pretty outrageous. After the court hearings on one of the challenges to Mr. Leiter's petitions, he and his lawyer apologized profusely to Mr. Green. They said that the comments were made in the heat of conflict and that they really didn't mean it. And Mr. Green should not take their attempt to destroy his honor and credibility to heart. But the damage was done. The comments made and their objective achieved. It's just another example of Mr. Leiter's contemptible tactics and his disregard for the law and the people of Orange County and the town of Wallkill. Oh, by the way, Andy, you should drive carefully on the way home. There's a lot of deer crossings in the roads between here and Warwick. I have one further comment about the discourse on town litigations. And I want to remind everyone that discourse regarding our litigations and the police department, many of which stem to the times before, way before this town board, when the police department was mismanaged by Howard Mills and an incompetent police commission. And we are still suffering the slings and arrows of their incompetence and mismanagement. Thank you.